Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Open Mic Podcast. The Open Mic Podcast. Hold on, gotta adjust my camera here a little bit. Sorry, should have did this before I started the video. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Open Mic Podcast. We don't have a sponsor right now. I'm trying to work on that. So we are not officially or unofficially sponsored by anybody. If anybody like to sponsor the Open Mic Podcast, please feel free to reach out at Open Mic Podcast 76 at outlook.com. Um, yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I last put out a podcast, so had planned on um trying to stay on track and damn, see, so I ain't rocking back and forth. Try to stay on track with just keeping up the podcast, but we got hit with winter storm here and we ended up with a bunch of about 6 inches of snow and about 3 inches of ice. And it's been like Antarctic temperatures here, so it all literally froze and it's been a nightmare. And it's still, I mean, the day, like the wind chill was -2 this morning. Um and everybody's all up in arms. We don't get weather like this, and where we live, this isn't normal, and the government is manipulating the weather, and that's a bunch of crap. I mean, we get bad storms here about every 6 to 10 years or so. Um, and we've had cold weather. Like I look back on my Facebook, like my memories, and you can see, over the last like 15 years where we've had weeks of bad weather and really cold weather. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know how people feel. I don't believe that the government manipulates our weather. I just don't believe that. Um, there's some conspiracy theories out there that kind of make sense sometimes. That's one that does not. Um, I remember I said something to somebody one time about that because they were talking about how the government controls the weather, and um they were talking about chemtrails too, which I shake my head on that. But like when they see a jet or something, like there's a lot of signs behind why you see those white trails of vapor behind the jets when they're at that high altitude. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to believe in chemtrails, that's fine. I don't, so we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I don't think the government controls our weather. I was talking about this the other day because somebody posted something on Instagram, and I was like, "We get weather like this all the time," and they were like, "Not down here." I guess they're like South Carolina or something like that, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't get weather like that." Why would they? What would be the government's like? If the government's going to do things like manipulate the weather, what is the reason? Right? There has to be a reason. Like they're just not going to manipulate the weather just to manipulate the weather. Just to be like, oh, hey Bob, watch this. Watch what I can do. I just the government does a lot of bad things, but I just don't believe they're going to manipulate the weather in South Carolina for some reason. I don't know what the benefit of that would be. If someone wants to explain that to me, um, feel free to explain it. But I don't know. I don't buy into that. So, um, and I don't know if you guys do. If you do, you want to email, chime in. Open Mic Podcast. I don't remember if it's 76. Hold on. Because I really don't remember. That was just sad. What is the damn email? That's what happens when you don't freaking, when you don't get on your email that often. Open Mic Podcast 76 at Outlook. Jeez Louise. Open Mic Podcast 76 at Outlook.com. Anybody that wants to, I'm going to have to fix that too. Anybody that wants to chime in, do you guys think the government is manipulating weather And if so, what would be the benefit of that? What would they gain? What do they stand to gain by manipulating weather? Because I don't know. I don't think it happens. But anyway, didn't want to go right into that. Um, Hope everybody's staying warm. Hope everybody's having, hope everybody's healthy, happy. Uh, we're through the first month of the year. All of your New Year's resolutions. How's everybody doing with those? Are you guys holding up? I feel like the biggest New Year's resolution most people make is they're gonna start hitting the gym. I'm gonna eat healthy this year, and I'm gonna hit the gym. New year, new me, and that's a great. I mean, that's a great outlook, right? That's a great thing to say. Um, but I think a lot of people fail because they set the bar too high. Like when it comes to weight loss and like trying to lose weight, changing your lifestyle because that's what it has to be something that's sustainable. It can't be a diet. Diets are fast, diets are short term. The people need to get out of that mentality like, hey, I'm not going to go on a diet. I'm going to change the way I eat. I'm going to change the way I live. It needs to be a permanent change. And in order for a change to be permanent, it takes weeks, it takes months of the change before it starts to become a habit. And then it's just something that you do. It's just second nature, right? Um, I know for me, because I've done it for so long over the years. At one point I weighed 400 pounds and I had cut all the way down to I think 215 at my lightest. And man, it was a lot. Like that was over like a 2 year span when I lost that weight. And it was a lot. I mean, I was in the gym and I was in my late 20s and I was in the gym I was 6 days a week. I'd lift mainly 4 days and the other two I would get up in the morning and go jog, 3 miles. And some of those days I would still lift too, but it takes time, man, and like you have to start small. Like I know when I first started on the journey, like the first thing I cut out was sodas, right? Like that was the first thing. I'm gonna cut out sugary drinks and I'm gonna start eating baked food instead of frying chicken or frying a hamburger or whatever. I bake it in the oven, and those were the first two changes. And the first thing I noticed was like water weight, because that's usually the first thing that's gonna come off, and you'll notice it in your face like big time. Um, but it takes a lot of effort. But you got a plan, right? Like you can't just say, "Hey, I'm gonna start working out this week," but you don't have no workout regimen, right? Like you don't have nothing planned. Or hey, I'm gonna start eating better, and this is what I'm like. You have to like meal prep is important, but I know a lot of people don't like to meal prep, and I'm not huge on meal prep. Like I'll meal prep dinners or lunches. Like I won't usually meal prep breakfast. It's a lot. Like, and I used to do this on Sundays. I did meal prep back then, and I would do it on Sundays. And I mean, it would take up half your day. I mean, it really would. And but the problem I ran into was I restricted myself. I got to a point where I restricted myself so much, like I wouldn't enjoy. Like if we did go to a birthday party or whatever, I wouldn't eat the cake or I wouldn't eat the sweets. Or I wouldn't, and I just cut all that stuff out. And I ate a lot of chicken. I ate sweet potatoes. I ate but I ate a lot of the same thing, and it just got to a point where over time it kind of burned me out. Like I got tired of eating those same things, and then like restricting myself from the cake or the cookie or whatever, right? And I think after a while it just got old, and then I started to adapt what I call like a 80-20. So I don't, and for the record, I don't think there's bad foods, right? There's some foods that are more nutritionally dense than others. I wouldn't call anything bad. Um, so I started with the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time it was nutrient dense food, 20% of the time it was less. So, 80% of the time you're eating, baked chicken or, good source of protein, vegetables, fruits, all that stuff. 20% of the time you'd go have a burger and fries from Five Guys, or you go to Chick-fil-A and get a chicken sandwich, or you'd enjoy that piece of cookie or that piece of cake. And I think that way, um, it was more sustainable because now it allowed me to kind of have the things that I had taken away from myself. And it's not like it didn't bring those cravings back, right? Like I wasn't craving cookies and cakes and the sweets like all the time because I was able to give myself that and it kind of satisfied that urge, that sweet tooth or whatever. And then some people will do like, it just all depends, man. There's so much information out there, and I've tried a couple different things, so I'm gonna give you like what really worked for me in my experience and what didn't work. Um, I tried the whole uh like cheat day, right? Like cheat meal, and what ended up happening with that was you would eat strict 6 days a week, and then you'd have a cheat meal on your Saturday, Sunday, your 6 or 7 day, whatever, however your weeks you plan your weeks. And what would end up happening with me was the cheat meal wouldn't be enough, and then it end up into a cheat day. And so, like when you were in a calorie deficit, most people call it like a refeed day, but it would go crazy. And I think a lot of people do that, and they then get the urge, and then you start saying, "Well, I'm going to eat this cookie today won't hurt me," and then it becomes these two cookies today won't hurt me, and then it's three, and then it's four, and then it's five, and then it goes from being 1 day to 2 days to 3 days to 4 days, and next thing you know, it's just kind of spirals out of control. Um, that's why I did the 80-20 because I felt like 80% of the time I'd eat nutritionally dense food, 20% of the time it'd be less. But it's not that it was bad, like right. If you go to Five Guys and get a burger, like you can still hit your protein, like you can still hit your macros for the day. You just have to you just change like your macros for the day to accommodate that. But I don't really track macros either. The only thing I really track is protein intake, and I do look at my calories, but um, I'm using a calorie deficit most of the time, and it because it's hard. Like I try to eat three meals a day and then a snack or like protein drink or whatever. And it's just hard. If I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. Like I just don't want to force myself to eat. But at the same time, like everybody that tells me, like when I have these conversations with them about diet and exercise and all that, and they're like, "Well, I don't like eating first thing in the morning." And I said, "Okay, but I'm going to tell you this: you need to like train your body because you don't want to wait until you're starving to eat, right? Like, so if and you wake up in the morning, I get it. You don't want to fry eggs or whatever. You got to give yourself something though, right? Like even if it's just a cup of strawberries or whatever, or just something small to kind of get your body started, right? Because you don't want to wait until you're like dying, like you feel like your stomach's sucking off the back of your spine before you eat. You don't want to get to that point. So, um, that was something that I was taught like, hey, even if you don't feel hungry, give yourself a little something, and usually make sure it's protein. If you're gonna, I tell people if you're gonna reach for something, go for protein. um, because protein is gonna keep you full, and it's I don't eat a lot of veggies like I used to. I will eat fruit, strawberries, blueberries, bananas, stuff like that. So I started taking a multivitamin because I'm not getting the nutrients from the veggies. I don't know why. Like I like broccoli and I do like beans, but I just I don't know, man. I just got tired of just cooking. I'd just rather eat protein. And even now, like I will eat chicken sometimes, but lately it's just been lean beef, like 93.7, 96.4. And potatoes, I will eat those. I try to find seasonings that don't use a lot of sodium or don't use any sodium at all. Um, so I've done well like the last, I'd say, month with preparing food, having a plan. If I don't meal prep breakfast, I got a plan in the morning for breakfast. I know what I'm going to eat. I plan out my lunches, and usually that lunch meal will also end up being dinner. And then, once a week we'll go out to eat somewhere. And that's getting bad. I feel like when you go out to eat anymore, the restaurants are terrible. The quality of food you're getting is bad. The service isn't really much better, if at all, and it's expensive. The prices of that stuff have astronomically, have gone up. And a lot of people who say, when we talk about like cost, they're like, it's so expensive to eat healthy, and that's a myth. That's a myth that's been proven. That's been debunked. I don't know how many times. And man, anybody out there, like I said, anybody out there that needs advice on changing your lifestyle, changing your meal, like how you eat, your exercise, man, I will help anybody. I could probably do online coaching if I want. The problem is, I feel like people are so hung up on what people look like that I don't look the part. Like these people I see on social media, some of these are people that I know personally, like they look the part. They got six pack abs and they're really lean and they're um but they have dedicated, right? Like I was never interested in having that look. Like I even when I went from 400 pounds to 215 pounds, I did not have a six pack. I was not chiseled. And some of these people are they're not natural, right? Like they're enhanced, and that's fine. Like, and some people may be okay with that. If that's what they want. But if you strictly want exercise routines, exercise help, meal prep help, I can put meals together for. I can put meals together for you that would be $10 or less. I can do $15, and I mean you'll get six servings at a minimum for that price. And so if anybody, email me, open mic podcast 76 at outlook.com. I will give you some advice. I'm not certified in anything, which is why I don't want to like be an online coach and charge. Like if I wanted to do that, I would have to get certified. But I feel like it would just be so hard in this day and age to sell that I know what I'm talking about because I don't have that look. But I also used to tell people, do as I say, not as I do, right? Like if you want, I can lead you there, right? Like I can get you where you want to be. I just that ain't what I want to do though, right? Like I like to eat. I like food and I eat healthy. Now, part of my problem is sleep and stress. If your meal is if you're dialed in, right? Your workouts are dialed in, how you eat is dialed in, all is dialed in. There are two things that's going to wreck that. One, really, is sleep. If your sleep patterns are jacked and you're not getting enough sleep, or you're when you do sleep, it's not good sleep. It's going to cause problems. You can get by with it when you're younger, but as you get older, like I said, I'll be 50 this year. It's going to catch up to you. And so if you're not sleeping and your stress level's high, it's going to wreck all of that. And it's hard, right? We got to find ways to handle stress and deal with stress. And but you got to get your rest, man. Most people say dieting is more important than the working out, and that may be true to an extent. Your sleep is number one. I would put sleep over how you eat because I feel like you're the way you eat cannot be great, but you can exercise. But if you get sleep, you're going to notice results. If you eat really good and you're working out only a couple days a week and your sleep is off, you're not going to see the results. If you're sleeping good, your results are going to like they're going to come quick. And So yeah, man. Anybody wants some free advice? I'm out there. If you think eating healthy is expensive, I can show you that's not. And if anybody that knows me personally, that wants help, that wants to come grocery shopping with me, I would be more happy to go to the store with you and show you exactly what to buy. Um, there's plenty of people online that make healthy dishes, healthy food on a budget. And it's simple ingredients. It's simple to make. I know everybody's not a 5-star chef, neither am I. I am good. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I can cook. Anybody knows me is eating my food will know I can cook. I made homemade chicken and dumplings a day. Homemade chicken and dumplings that had 4 ingredients, not counting like your spices and your salt and pepper. 4 ingredients. No, five. 5 ingredients. Chicken and dumplings a day, homemade, 5 ingredients, and it's the bomb. And it's perfect because it's cold as hell outside. Last week I made something called taco taters. So basically, it was like the little round potatoes, cut them in half, saute them in some olive oil, taco season. I use Danos because they don't have a lot of sodium, all that crap. Um, Danos taco season, 96.4 beef, 2.5 pounds. Threw that in there, more seasoning, cooked it up. 1 can of Rotel, mixed that in, cooked it all, let it cook. I posted on Instagram, on social. Let it cook. Spread some cheese over top, let it melt. Pour your bowl, a little bit of sour cream on top, And that most people are like, that ain't healthy. That ain't healthy. It's way healthier than that shit y'all probably eating. I can bet you that. And in a serving had like 40 grams of protein. You got some carbs from your potatoes. Hey man, to me that's healthy. And that's probably way different than what most of y'all are eating, right? You're eating like box hamburger helper and crap that's just full of chemicals and sodium and all this bullshit. And got to get away from that. For the people that tell me eating healthy is expensive, I tell you no, that's not true, and here's why. Whenever you see just walk down the chip aisle. Next time you're in the grocery store, walk down the chip aisle, the cookie aisle, and the soda aisle. And I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna find. Buy one, get one half off, buy two, get one free. And what does that cause you to do? Oh, I'm getting a deal. I'm getting a deal. So a bag of chips is $3. You buy one, get half off. So now you just spent, let's say bag of chips $3. The other one's half off, so that's $4.50. And that's not true. We know bags of chips like $5-6. But now you just bought 2 bags of chips. You spent more money than you would have if you just bought one. And do you really need 2 family-sized bag of potato chips? Probably not. I mean, that's the type. Like, if you're really trying to be healthy, that's the type of food you want. If you want potatoes, cut them, eat them, cook them, real potatoes, not chips, right? Um, and I like chips. Don't get me wrong. I love potato chips. I love some chips, man. I like potato chips. But, if you're really serious, you got to cut some stuff out. And that's, potato chips, high in calorie, hydrogenated oils, and all that crap. You got to cut it out. Soda aisle, buy 3, we get the 4 free. That's that. You're spending more money and buying more than what you really need when you go up and down those aisles. You go up and down the aisles, you'll see it all the time. And they're just convincing you that, oh, you're getting a deal. You ain't getting no damn deal. You ever open a bag of potato chips? It's half empty. Half of it's nothing but air. And I'm telling you, man, people that want veggies, like I know fresh veggies, they're not that expensive. They really aren't. But if you're on a budget, you can always buy frozen. And I know some people like, well, frozen vegetables, when you freeze them, they lose their nutrition value. It's still better than the alternative. It's still better than nothing. I don't give a shit if you was buying canned veggies. It's still better for you. It's better. It's a better choice. You can always start somewhere and just continue to dial it in. But it's all about man, you can get bags of frozen broccoli for like $1.50. I mean, it's not bags of mixed vegetables. It's cheap, and it's all you need. You can steam them in. You can throw them in. It costs. It's so easy, man. It's so easy. It really is so easy. It's all about what you want, and if you want something bad enough, it's like finding the time, right? Like I was bad about this excuse, especially within the last couple of years. If something's important to you, you'll make time for it. That's like people. People like, oh, I meant to call you the other night. I meant to text you. I got so busy. Blah 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 blah. If somebody wants to be in your life, they're gonna make time to communicate and talk to you and text you and call you. If something's important, you'll find time for it. There's always ways, and you don't need a gym membership. You can go for a walk. Buy you a weighted vest. Put that on. Over the last summer, I walked every day with that weighted vest on in the heat, the middle of summer. There's ways you can get exercise. You don't need to go to the gym. Yes, resistance training is important because you build muscle. Everybody wants the tone look, the tone. I want to be toned. You ain't gonna get toned unless you build muscle, lean muscle, and you lower your body fat. That's the only way you have a tone look. I hate that word, tone look. Um, but yeah, that's now I'm willing to help. I'll help anybody, man. If you're willing to put in the effort, I'll put in the time and give you a hand. Anybody out there, email me. Open my podcast 76 at outlook.com. I will help you out free of charge. Not going to charge anything. I did used to be a personal trainer another lifetime ago, it feels like. I don't know everything, but I know enough. And dude, there was a guy in college that did a study. He ate Twinkies. Like that's all he ate was Twinkies, and he lost weight. Why? Because he was in a calorie deficit. Didn't matter. He had protein. Didn't matter. Sugar content. None of that mattered. He was in a calorie deficit. He lost weight, and that's really the key to losing weight. You got to be in a calorie deficit. But in order to be in a calorie deficit, you have to know. You have to do those equations. You have to have somebody knows how to calculate that for you. I can do that as well. So, um, anyway, man, this has been the last few weeks, the last month, really. I mean, I don't know, really. Lately, things are weird, man. Like all this stuff going on with ICE. Um, they people right now. They want to deport all the illegals, the people that are here illegally. And when I say that, it's like they didn't follow the immigration protocols. They didn't go through the vetting. They didn't do the proper channels to come into this country, right? But I feel that whole process needs reform, right? Like it's a failed process. There's a backlog. Like they don't have enough employees to process the people trying to come into the country. So you end up getting people here illegally. Um, and I don't know everything, right? Like I only know what I see. I don't really watch the news much. Not that the main media outlets. Like there's some media outlets that I tune into, but it's not like Fox and CNN and all that. Um, but I just feel like these guys, the ICE, they from the videos I've seen, not and I'm sure not all of them, right? We're only going to see a small sample, but the ones I've seen, they're poorly trained, and I've heard other cops and SWAT and ex-military talk about that, like their formations, how they handle themselves. It's just so out of line, and they've shot people, they've killed people, and I get it, man. Like they're showing up for a raid, people out there protesting, they're honking their horns, and the cars are blocking them in, and they're doing all this, and um, trying to prevent them from doing what they're going to do. And if you do that, you're probably gonna, the outcome's probably not gonna be good. But um, nobody should lose their life because they decide to voice their opinion or come out there and, um, the guy that was shot recently. I mean, there was an altercation he had with ICE like 7 days prior, and He was carrying his firearm then, and they didn't shoot him. They kicked the damn rear light out of one of the cars, and they tackled him. I don't know why they didn't arrest him then, but maybe they did. And they didn't hold him, but yeah, it was an altercation. He's, you know, standing there with a camera. They put some woman down. He's trying to help her up. He gets pepper sprayed, gets beat by like 6 guys, and there's like no organization. Like every ICE agent's like right there. I mean, if somebody would have walked up with a gun, they could have been like, "Plop, plop," and just freaking they wasted all of them guys. Like nobody's watching their back. That just shows it's just lack of training, lack of like preparation, lack of procedure. And they disarmed the man and they basically killed him in the street. And I know everybody's seen this and everybody's probably tired of talking about it, but I'm not. I got a platform now. I'm going to talk about it. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen to me. But I welcome everyone to listen and engage and talk because we have to get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. And the whole cop out, like a lot of people are like, well, I don't get into all that politics and I don't get into all that stuff. That's your choice, man. But at some point, if you have a platform, I'd rather people just speak up. And so it's a lot going on, man, right now, and the things are so volatile. And um, I don't think the ICE thing is really working. I think they should take a break. Like, let's take a timeout. Let's regroup. Let's see what we can do. Like, hey, let's see what we can do to improve this process because I feel like it's sloppy. It looks unprofessional. But no, I mean, the president, Trump, he doubles down. Like, I think they're doing a great job. I don't see anything wrong. And it's like, even people that, and there's a lot of ignorance, man. I see the comments on social media. It's just a lot of ignorance. But I think most people would say overall that they're not happy with the way things have gone with that. Um, and so, yeah, I don't know everybody's opinion, but I got mine. And I think the immigration the process for this country needs reform. I don't have those answers, unfortunately, but I'm not an elected official. Um, those are the people that we have to rely on, and I know that's hard at times too. To rely on those people, we like to vote the people in those positions we think or would hope that would have the answers or at least make an attempt. And so many people. I mean, somebody made a comment to me one day like, "Oh, I love Trump. He's getting all the illegals out. My kids will be safe." And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? The percentage of crime in this country, like the if they are illegal or immigrants in general, the percentage of those people that commit the crime, it's so small. Like it's not even close to like what American citizens do. So for that, like the person that made that comment, to me, that's just an ignorant thing to say because you're basically saying the illegals are the problem, like they're the ones, or immigrants in general are the problem, like they're the ones, raping and sexually assaulting. I don't know, can I say that? Sexually assaulting women, and they're pedophiles, and they're this and they're that. And it's just not true. It's just not. It's just not true. And I don't know why. Like you can't tell somebody that without them getting all up in arms. And it's like, can we just have a conversation? Like you like a lot of these people that don't want to have those conversations, or they do, it's like they can never see one side or the other. And it's just like with the ICE thing, everybody's like, well, when Obama was in office, ICE did all this and nobody said anything. I, I mean, that was social media was in a different place then, so it wasn't broadcast as much as it is now. And I probably wasn't into politics as much back then as I am like kind of now, like I'm more aware. But if they were doing that back then, they were wrong. Like I got no problem saying well, wrong is wrong. But everybody's like, well, Obama's administration allowed to do it. Why can't Trump? But two wrongs don't make a right. That mentality makes no sense. Like it was wrong then, it's wrong now. Like if the process was broken then, it's still broken. So that makes no sense to me. Like I just don't understand people that have that mentality. It's like sports. It's like they treat politics like I'm going to be for my side no matter what. This is my team. I ride or die with my team. No, you should be able that if you're really a Republican or Democrat or whatever, if your side or your people do something that you don't agree with, it's okay to say, "Hey, yeah, I'm a Republican, but I don't agree with this." Right? And then so many times people will be like that guy that got shot by ICE. They're like, "Well, you can't bring a gun to a protest." I ain't never heard of something so stupid in my life. When people, they call themselves MAGA or whatever. Like when they stormed the Capitol that day, plenty of those people had guns. Like, was it a protest? Yeah, I mean, I guess it was. Like, like, I don't understand that, and it's like, um, well, you can't bring a gun to a protest, and I get it, right? Like, anytime a gun is introduced into a scenario, even if it's holstered in your pocket, the fact that you have it, especially when you got untrained people like ICE, clearly a lot of those agents appear to be untrained. Like when they saw that man had that gun and they just saw him, like they freaked out. Like they freaked out and I mean, they shot the guy like 10 times. But you can't, and then so many people like, you ain't taking my guns, they're strong 2A supporters, this, that, and the other. So when they said, hey, you can have your guns, but you can't bring them to a protest, you can't bring them to a rally, whatever. If I was someone that was really for 2A, and I believe in 2A, I'm not like gung ho, but if I was, I would have a problem with that because now you're hindering my Second Amendment. You're saying I'm not allowed to take. Now you're saying I can't take my gun to certain, and there's always exceptions like schools and hospitals, places like that. But man, when all this, I remember in Charlottesville when they had those riots and all that stuff. Those people, all them people had guns. They was carrying all that. Nobody's saying that back then. So I just don't, man. It's always one side against the other, and man, two wrongs don't make a right. And but immigrants, illegal or not, most of the time illegal immigrants don't want to cause crime because they don't want to get caught and they don't want to get deported. So they're not walking around out here committing crime. And the ones they were criminals when they came into the country. And I got no problem if we want to go out and get those and send them back. I got no problem with that. But the problem is they're arresting people who have been here, 10, 15 years, that have families. And everybody's like, first thing I hear, well, they've had plenty of time to become a citizen. Why didn't they become citizen? Look into the process of becoming a citizen. It's not that easy. It's not. I got a friend that she was an immigrant here. Ask her. She'll tell you all about it. Ask her about it. But these people, like, they come here on green cards and work visas and stuff, and they check in with immigration. They go to court. If they get a ticket, they get a fine, and they'll go to court and arrest these people and deport them. And they're trying to live in the process, like they're going through the process, and they're trying to be good people in the country. Like I've seen women, like a woman was a teacher. Like, why are we deporting her? Like, yeah, well, she's illegal. You break the law. I don't care who it is. You break the law, you gotta go. I got a problem with that, man. I just don't like that mentality. I don't. If you're here contributing to society in a positive way, whether you've become a natural citizen yet or not, you should be allowed. But that's where reform comes in. Is like, well, can we just make this person a citizen? Like, instead of going and arresting them and deporting them, what can we do to streamline that? Say, all right, you've been in this country 15 years, you haven't been able to get your citizenship, whatever. We're going to do that for you. You know why? Because you're a good person. You've contributed positively to our society. You pay your taxes. You do what you got to do. Why can't we do that? Why is it so hard for people to have some compassion? Like, I don't understand it. Like, no, they got to go. They got to go. Like, somebody told me one time, I don't want no more immigrants in the country at all. The country's, we're too full. We're filled. I was like, you got kids. So should your kids stop having children then? Is that what you're saying? Because if you tell me the country's full, we don't need nobody, then we don't need nobody. There's no exception. You can't now say, well, no, I don't mean, no, that means you're full of shit. And you're just talking about people of color and brown and people that aren't American white citizens. That's what you're saying. That is a racist thing to say. But I'm not surprised because the guy that runs our country, Trump, like he apologized for nothing. He thinks he does no wrong. And like just recently, he had posted a video, right? And at the end of the video, I watched it. At the end of the video, it has Obama and his wife with their heads on monkeys. And Trump claims he didn't watch the whole video before he posted it, but he also isn't apologizing for it. Why? Like, why is it so hard for this man, this narcissistic, egotistical, whatever? Why is it so hard? Like, instead of apologizing, he would double down on shit. Like Ice. What do you think about the murder? Oh, I think they're doing a great job. Instead of saying, hey, maybe we could change some things and do some things differently, he's going to double down. So he's like, oh, it wasn't racist that I posted that. If I have to explain to you why why faces or depictions of African Americans as monkeys is racist, I don't know. I don't know what else to say to you at that point. Like I don't, you don't understand history if you say, well, they depicted a white man as a monkey. That's racist. It's not the same, man. Like that imagery has been used over the years to make African Americans, to make people of color. It's to basically hold them down, make them feel like they're inferior. And if I have to explain that to you, like I really don't know. Like to me, there's no hope for you if I have to explain that to you. And I don't get it, man. And I used to never really be into politics, and I'm still not really a big political person. I'm not on one side or the other, man. I'm for people. I'm for people, and I'm gonna call wrong all the time, and I don't give a damn who is offended by it. And it's gotten to a point, man, where it's like I don't care if you're family. I don't care if you're like been my best friend your whole life. I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna call it out. And right is right and wrong is wrong. And there's a lot of wrongs going on. But the fact that the president posted that and then was like, well, I didn't even know that was at the end, which I don't believe, but I kind of do in a way because I think he's that stupid to have posted that, not even knowing, didn't even watch the whole thing. But you really don't think that's worth an apology? Oh man, I didn't know that was on there. I'm sorry I did that. Like I shouldn't have done that. As bad taste. The fact that he don't want to and then his supporters, dude, like it is crazy how people are so blinded by being a Democrat or Republican. It's like I said, it's like sports, man. It that's exactly what it reminds me of, is sports. And like when their side wins, they rub it in your face. And I don't understand that mentality when it comes to politics. And we really need a third party, honestly, to break up that crap. But it'll never happen. And it'll never happen. And it's sad, man, because man, this is a great country, man. Like no matter what people think, this is a great country. And if it wasn't, so many people would be trying to come here and risk their lives to come here to get away from. If they're willing to risk their lives to come here, like their children, like risking their children's lives to come here, how bad do you think it is where they came from? And we could do something about that, like all the cartels and stuff in South America and down in Mexico and all the crime these people are trying to escape and get away from. We could do something about that if they want it. They pick and choose. Um, and then we start talking. Then we go right into the Epstein stuff, right? And now they're coming out and said basically Epstein was the only person on the report that committed all these crimes. There was nobody else involved. That's, man, you feed that bull jive to somebody else. I ain't buying that. That's a bunch of crap. And anybody believes that's crazy. Covering up for a bunch of pedophiles. If there's one thing, man, one thing in this country that needs to be cracked down on is that, man, if you, I can't even fathom touching kids and doing those things or having it happen to my child. I couldn't even think of that, man. I don't even want to think about, like, I don't even know where I would go, like mentally where I would go at that point if that happened. And so now we're just gonna sweep that under the rug. And it's like, dude, do people care about children in this country? Like that pedophilia and all that type of stuff. That stuff's been going on for so long, and it gets covered all the time. You know, Tim Tebow, man, he started that man, what is his organization called? He started an organization specifically going after that. And he showed a map the other day I saw on social media. And he's like, there's a red dot. Each red dot represents a computer in the United States that either has child pornography, has transferred child pornography. And dude, the map of the United States was like red. Like it was red. It was everywhere. And this man, these other people can do this work, start these organizations, track all this stuff, and the government can't. I don't understand, man. Like, if we want to get a hold of something, that's like when there's a school shooting. Everybody just they're upset for 2 days, and then you don't hear nothing about it. It's like, do we care about children, man? The children are our future. Do we care about the children in this country? I don't. I don't know, man. I don't know that we do. People that if you sexually assault children, if you have pornography, you should be buried under the prison. Like I really think those are penalties that should be punishable, life in prison, or you get the death penalty because those people. Maybe some of them are rehabilitated, but there's something wrong here, right? And there's usually no fixing that. They aren't rehabilitated. And then all the people that tell me that, oh, it's illegals and immigrants, they make up a big percentage. Anybody, whatever state you live in, just go online and search your state sex offender registry list, and go in there and look and tell me how many of those people on that list are immigrants, illegal or not. And you tell me, you do the math, you do the research, and you tell me what you see. Just anybody that's listening, go online, do like a 10-mile search of radius around where you live, and look at the people that are registered sex offenders, and those are just the people you know about. I guarantee for every one that's registered that you know about, there's probably three that you don't. I guarantee it, and that's scary. And we have to protect our kids. Don't tell your kid to be quiet, shut up when adults are talking. You blah blah blah. There's respectful way. Like, yeah, you want your child to respect people. You don't have to be an adult to have a child respect you. Show respect to everybody. But I had this conversation the other day. When you constantly tell your kid to be quiet, shut up, stop talking, I'm talking, don't talk when adults are talking, blah 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 blah. Well, eventually you're just teaching them like, well, adults are always right. I'm supposed to do whatever the adult says, and then next thing you know, you got some freaking weirdo that's playing weird games with your kid in school, or whatever, and doing things they shouldn't be doing, and then your kid's not going to tell you because they're afraid you probably snapped on them all the time when they made a mess or whatever, and made them afraid to come tell you anything, or you kept telling them to shut their mouth, and suddenly now they're not talking. Now they're not talking to you at all, and everybody's like, "I can't believe this happened. Why didn't they tell me?" Because you've been freaking telling them to keep their mouth shut for so long, they ain't going to. Don't blame the child, blame yourself. Bullshit. I don't want to hear that crap. It's a wild world, man. Y'all better wake your ass up. But I wish more people would speak out and say things, and they don't. They keep quiet. Speak up, man. Say something. I don't give a damn if it offends somebody. That's call out wrong, call out injustices, stand up for people whose voices aren't being heard. And everybody wonders, oh, why they riot and tear up shit? Because it gets your attention. Unfortunately, when that happens, then you make those people out to be animals and criminals and this, that, and the other. I get it. But I've never been in a position where I feel like that's my last resort. Nobody's listening to me. Nothing's happening. I got to just start tearing up stuff and make a bunch of noise. Colin Kaepernick didn't really agree with it, but he kneeled for the anthem. He took a non-violent way to protest something, and it was extreme by a lot of people's measures. But instead of them saying, why is he sitting for the national anthem, they were too busy saying, what a piece of crap, un-American, unpatriotic, blah, 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 blah. He got blackballed. But he did what y'all always say. Why can't we protest in a peaceful way? Why, where he's doing it, and y'all still had something to say about it. Like you didn't want to listen to why he was doing it because you're too busy telling people of color that that's all bullshit. That they haven't been, they don't have opportunities. Y'all got all the same opportunities as everybody else. Y'all haven't. Do people really know like Jim Crow law? Do y'all really know what that was? Like we learned that as kids, and I don't think we fully understood what they were. Read up on that stuff as an adult. It was only in the '60s when that was when they abolished a lot of those laws. But you think down south in a lot of those states that enacted all those laws, you think when it was abolished, just the very next day everything went back to normal? Hell no. A lot of them people are still alive. It's generational, man. Until those generations are gone, you're always gonna have that. There's those people who hated people because of the different color and they look different. And it's I don't know what to tell y'all, man. It's crazy, man, when I have conversations with people and some of the crap. But I have recently seen like Trump supporters stuff like that. When he posted that video and Obama's was, on they called it out, man, and I applaud those people for standing up for what's right. I don't care what side of the fence you're on, man. Blue, liberal, conservative, blue, red, Democrat, Republican. When you see wrong, you got to call wrong. I don't care. And until we can do that, we need to be one as a nation, no matter what side you're on. We have to come together and say, this is wrong. This is what we want. We want change. We're not unified, man. As much as everybody wants to think we are, we're not. And I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know how to fix it. Hopefully by me talking, if everybody has a platform to speak on and they use it, maybe eventually we'll get there. I don't know. I don't know. And maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about either. Maybe I'm out of line. Who knows? Um but anyways, everybody out there, man, keep fighting the fight. Stand up for those that don't have a voice that's being heard. We're gonna get there, man. It might not be this lifetime, my lifetime, however much longer I have. Nobody knows when our time is up, right? But you know, hopefully the younger generations they can get it right and get things back on track. Because this is a great country, man. I'll never say it's not. I will never say that. But we got work to do, and we need to start somewhere. So, anyways, man, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. Super Bowl Sunday, Seattle, New England. Man, who the hell would have ever thought New England, right? And then Sam Darnold for Seattle. He's drafted by the Jets, and I mean everybody. Like, there's certain teams in the NFL. If you get drafted there, it's just like you ain't never going to go anywhere. And so good for Sam Darnold, man. He's with the Seattle Seahawks, and they got a hell of a defense. I like New England, man. I like Mike Vrabel, who played for New England. I think he's a great coach. I wanted my team to bring him in as a coach, and they didn't. He might not have took the job anyway, but I mean, he's done a lot. I know the spread's like 4.5. Like Seattle's giving New England 4.5 for those out there that like to gamble. I got Seattle in this, man. They don't make Sam Darnold like he doesn't have to win the games. They run the ball, they play great defense. He throws the ball 25 times a game. It's not on him, but he's done exceptionally well, and I just think I don't think the second year QB for New England. I just don't think New England has enough to be able to compete with Seattle's D. I think that's the difference there. New England has a good defense too, but I don't. I just don't think. I think Seattle's defense is the key difference, and having Darnold, who's a veteran, who's put together two back to back 2 great years, and I got Seattle. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I'm going with Seattle. 4.5. I don't think it's going to be close, honestly. I would take Seattle, and I give the 4. That they're going to beat them by more than 4.5. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat them by 2 touchdowns at a minimum. Yeah, I said that. So anybody out there, any New England fans, y'all probably not going to be happy with me, but I think Seattle rolls. I think Denver, honestly, they lost Bo Nix. I don't think Bo Nix plays that great anyway. They got a great defense, but they had Jared Stidham. But I really think if the weather hadn't came in there, I think Denver would have won that game. I think it would have been Denver in the Super Bowl, but we'll never know. But anyway, I got Seattle, double digits. They're gonna beat them by double digits. So, but anyways, man, it's nice to. Uh, I appreciate, man, all the love everybody gives me. People that have told me, man, you got to get back on the pod. I just saw my buddy the other day, and I hadn't seen him in person in a while. He had never seen my child in person ever, him and his wife, and I ran into them, and it was so nice seeing them. And he's like, man, you got to get back on that podcast, man. You got to get back on there. And so here I am, man. And like I said, I try to do one every week. Um, excuse me. Damn. I try to do a weekly podcast, and it's hard sometimes. I mean, I think y'all understand. I think everybody understands. Let's see if we got any emails, man. It's been a while. I know last podcast was a few weeks ago, but I did ask. I did ask some people. To shoot me some emails. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. I'm trying to think, man. It's been almost a year. I know I'm not up to it's 52 weeks in a year. I'm definitely not at episode 52 and 2 months off, but I think I'm like 33, 34, something like that. So it's pretty close. Let's see. Here we go. Didn't agree with everything, but still listening. What's up, open mic? Oh, wait a minute. Forgot the mailbag.
You've got mail.
You got mail. What's up, old Mike? I've been listening for a few weeks now and figured I'd write in. I don't always agree with some of your takes, but I respect that you let the conversation play out instead of shutting it down. Too many shows are scared to let things get uncomfortable. Yours isn't, and that's why I'm still tuning in. Curious if you're planning to revisit any of the topics that you've talked about, which was a different perspective at some point, Jordan. Jordan, man, I appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate you emailing. I feel like I touched back. I revisit a lot of topics. You didn't get into. You didn't say a specific topic, but I feel like I do that. And um, yeah, man. I like I said, it's we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and we got to have uncomfortable conversations. It's just part of life, and I think um, and everybody's not built for that. I understand, but um yeah. I mean, Jordan, I appreciate the email, appreciate the words, and yeah, man, check it out. Make sure you anybody goes. I don't know where you watch the show or listen to the show. Spotify, YouTube, iTunes. Be sure to subscribe, like the episode. Shoot me a comment if you like. I really appreciate it. another one. Y'all are wild. Y'all ain't. I'm one person. Yo, open mic. I threw on the show during the drive, thinking it'd be background noise. Next thing I know, I'm parked in my driveway, still listening like an idiot. I don't think you're an idiot for listening to the show. Um, you always got me laughing. And the honesty is honestly rare these days. Feel like sitting in on a real conversation instead of being talked at. Don't change the vibe at work. Sam, I appreciate you listening to the show, man. Yeah, I try to keep it real, man. I try to keep it honest. Honestly, probably is rare these days. And I'm glad that you feel like you're not being talked to. You feel like a real conversation. And hey, man, I'm glad you were the still listening idiot. You're not an idiot, though. You're a very highly intelligent person. Uh, listen to the Open Mic podcast. So appreciate you, Sam. Let's see. Subject. This podcast is a mess. I tried giving your show a chance after a friend recommended, and honestly, I don't get the hype at all. I don't get the hype at all. Feels like a bunch of half-baked opinions with no structure and way too much talking. If I wanted to hear people ramble about making a point, I'd sit at a bar and listen to strangers argue. There aren't too many podcasts like this. You're not saying anything new. Unsubscribed. Didn't even put your name. Oh, Mark. There you go, Mark. Hey, Mark. Appreciate you emailing the show, though, taking the time. Um, hey, man, I'm sorry this podcast is not your cup of tea. And yeah, I'm probably not reinventing the wheel here. But you know what we are doing? We're talking, we're keeping it real, and we're talking about shit that most people don't want to talk about. So, hey, Mark, I'm not gonna beg you to. You can unsubscribe, subscribe, whatever. Just keep engaging. Just keep the engagement up. That's all I ask, Mark. Thank you for this email. Really disappointed in this direction. I used to enjoy the show, but lately it feels like you're drifting further away from what made it interesting in the first place. More interruption, less substance, a lot of confidence for opinions that aren't very well thought out. It's frustrating because there are good moments, they're just getting buried. Hope you rethink where this is going. No name. Hey man, I'm sorry you're disappointed. You know, I was gone for a couple months and I understand that. So hopefully you continue to listen, whoever that person was. They did not give a name. Let's do one more. Let's see. I feel like there's background noise coming through the mic. Mental health episode, Mr. Mark. I listened to your recent episode on mental health. I don't know what episode that was. I talk about it a lot. I feel the need to say something. Appreciate that you're willing to talk about heavy topics, but parts of the conversation felt oversimplified. Mental health isn't just about pushing through or changing your mindset, and hearing it framed that way was frustrating for people who actually deal with anxiety, depression, or burnout on a daily basis. It can feel dismissive when those struggles are treated like personal failure instead of real issues. Sometimes help. I'm not saying you shouldn't talk about mental health, just that it deserves more care and nuance than it got in the episode. Hope you revisit the topic with a bit more balance. Again, no name, unanimous, I guess. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, mental health is important to me. I talk about mental health a lot. I don't feel like I've ever been dismissive. If I have, I apologize for that. But mental health is the whole reason I started this podcast. We're talking about mental health, and mental health means a lot to me. Um, there's a guy on Instagram I follow. He's a power lifter. I did not know until recently that he had once tried to commit suicide. He just lost a friend of his to suicide. Um, and I just want everybody to know, man, like there's always a better way, right? Like, please reach out. Please talk to someone. If you have those thoughts, if you have those feelings, man, you can email me. I'll try to find a way to get you the help that you need. Um, I promise you the world's a better place with you in it than without it. There's going to be people that are going to miss you for the rest of their life. It's going to change those people's lives. If you got children, if you got a family, please, man, I beg you, please reach out, man. Talk to somebody. Reach out to me. Open Mic Podcast 76 at Outlook.com. Man, I beg you. Mental health is a problem in this country. We need to talk about it more. We need to get more open about it, especially from a men's perspective. Don't be afraid to don't suppress your feelings, your emotions, whatever. Let it all out. Don't be afraid to tell someone, "Hey, I'm not okay." It's okay to not be okay. There's a lot of people that are not okay, especially right now. There's a lot going on. People are seeing a lot of injustices. Things are super expensive. Economy's not great. There's a lot of things that are causing people to feel like the only way out is to remove themselves. And I promise you, that's not going to solve anything. Please reach out, man. And everybody, I appreciate everybody listening to the show, man. I appreciate everybody that compliments, that's told me to get back into podcasts. They love my show, man. I appreciate all that. Uh, hey, man, I'm telling you, everybody stay positive, man. We're all gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? But we got to stick together. We got to call out things. We gotta do this. We are the ones that can make the change, right? That's up to us. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do it, man. Everybody keep their head up. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the emails. I appreciate all the comments, man. I love everybody. Remember, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Peace.